baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PHILO. We are going to begin here shortly. Very interesting day. It was like yesterday in the terms of the uncertainty following trade. But you didn't get any crazy updates. We did hear that the U.S. is going to stop funding for the WTO, and that kind of got negative. Then Fitch warned about the WTO, or they warned about the tariffs, creating uncertainty. We danced around a little bit, and then we fell. This is like 5,700 right here. Very key level, but very weird day because some automakers are up, some are down. I do believe the auto tariffs were large. I hope you watch yesterday's watch list. But now the premiums are very, very weird today in the sense that we made a couple plays, good timing. We did a lot better than yesterday. But the plays, even if you bottom or top tick, the premiums have a lot of hangovers. So be careful. We'll see where it leads us. We don't have anything on the calendar for the rest of the day. We might get a couple more surprises. But other than that, we'll see where this takes us. And we'll read our book and have a good time. And then finish up Friday Junior, baby. Finish up Friday Junior. So God bless you. God bless America. I don't think there's DVR on, is there? You guys hear me, right? I don't know. Do you hear me? I hope you do. This would be weird. Do you hear me? Okay. There's like a weird lag today. I don't know why. There's no DVR, but like I feel like YouTube put a lag on because there's like a slight delay. Well, that being said, let's give you a couple more minutes. Let me prepare everything and then send out a stream alert and we'll begin.
Jeffrey says Advanced Micro Devices is falling behind NVIDIA in its technological capabilities, and Jeffrey says that could continue to pressure the stock. AMD down by 3.8%, NVIDIA right now down by 1.6%. And we're keeping an eye on GameStop shares. They are plunging. GameStop right now after earnings down 23%. The video game retailer also announced it intends to offer $1.3 billion aggregate principal amount convertible senior notes due in 2030. A Wedbush analyst says he expects that offering to, quote, fall flat again. We got GameStop down now by 23.1%. For on-demand news, 24 hours a day, subscribe to Bloomberg News Now, wherever you get your podcasts. And Balance of Power continues right now. Back we go to Washington. Once again, your hosts, Joe Matthew and Kaylee Lyons.
All right, Charlie Pellet in New York, thank you so much. I'm Kaylee Lyons alongside Joe Matthew in Washington. Thanks for joining us on Bloomberg Television and radio. And if you've been watching or listening to this show, basically any given day at any time since the election in November to now, you've probably heard us reference, at least in passing, the fact that the House majority is really narrow. We knew it was going to be after Election Day when it became clear the Republicans were going to hang on to control. And we knew it was going to get narrower still when President Trump pulled 3 members of the House to join his cabinet. One of them, Matt Gaetz, of course, didn't ultimately joining, having taken himself out of contention for Attorney General, but he still resigned his position. Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, former Congressman, also resigned. He's facing a great deal of scrutiny right now, which we'll get into in a moment. And then there was Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who was tapped to be ambassador to the UN. And we've heard President Trump repeatedly joke to Mike Johnson in public, in speeches, saying, I know I took people from you, Mike, and the majority's really thin. Clearly, he was well aware of this. But there are reports today that the White House is getting a little bit more concerned about that narrow majority to the extent that they are actually thinking about pulling Stefanik's nomination to serve in that role.
And to think she was packing her bags for an important job. Not all that far away, I suspect, but this is kind of an important development.
Google
it makes
flushing?
Us think about
That's
the
weird.
Election next week in Florida.
Why is Google down?
Republicans are justified in their nervousness over this seat potentially flipping.
Well, it's
Bloomberg
the book
government
that I
doesn't
sent,
see that happening.
It won't load.
This is a much steeper climb for the Republican than anybody anticipated. Certainly, the current news, as you're indicating around Mike Waltz right now, isn't helping. Let's assemble our political panel and get their take on all of this. Bloomberg Politics contributor, Democratic analyst Jeannie Shanzena was with us, political science professor at Iona University. And Chapin Fay is back with us, our Republican strategist, founder of Lighthouse Public Affairs. Great to have you both here.
Buy your first house.
Chapin
Let's go,
is
baby.
A Republican. Are you worried enough about the size of this majority to keep Elise Stefanik in the House?
Yeah, I mean, that's always a concern when you have a slim majority. Keeping an unruly group of hundreds of people with varying disparate views is always trouble herding the cats. I think they're right to worry about it. But this is also there's pros and cons to being a team player, like Congresswoman Stefanik, right? She's a team player, a leader in the party. She will make a tremendous UN ambassador. I think it was a phenomenal pick. But sometimes being a team player means you got to do some things you don't want to do for the party and the team. She is a team player. I'm assuming she'll get something out of it if she agrees to stay. But when the president of your party calls and asks you to do something, it is very hard to say no.
Well, but when we consider the reasons for doing so, the team chief, and speaking about Jeannie, was well aware of the roster and the way in which the roster would potentially be shrinking if Elise Stefanik were pulled out to play in a different position. That has been true for some time. So if actually the White House decides to take her out of contention, does that...
Contention. Oh, what up, baby? Welcome to PHILO, ladies and gentlemen. Pfizer death blow. Excellent. Again, it's been a while since 24, and it bounces every time, so watch out for that. I think oil is not catching the rotation because of energy has too much going on, from peace to all of that and policy. Wyden, Pfizer dodged billions in U.S. taxes in 1 year alone. So they're getting congressional shit. They're getting a little bit of flack. Good call out on that. That's what I'm talking about. What you just did was beautiful. So welcome to PHILO. And what we're going to do right now is talk about life. I'm going to read a book. A very challenging book, but I hope you rise to the occasion. But you paid to be here. You paid to be here. You dealt with my annoying, very, very friction attitude. You handled all of it. You went through all these barriers to be here right now. So don't waste your time or your opportunity. If you're here right now, it's very simple. You want to be here. And I want to be here. I'm glad I'm here. And all I ask during this moment is you get it where you fit in. So if you think the PHILO is nonsense, cool. You don't have to tell me. You just don't engage. Why? Because it's distracting, and I want to focus on workflow. So if you don't like the PHILO, no problem. I'm good over here. Your job is stocks. Only post stock stuff, just like we saw here. I have the Newswire up. You can pick it apart, look at it just in case I miss anything. If you see something, call it out. I'll stop what I'm doing, and we'll focus on it. So that way we get the best of both worlds. But anything that is not, again, making us money, the stock market, or making us think PHILO, it's useless. So we're not going to tolerate it. And that's it. So you get it where you fit in. You vibe with that. I think you'll have a good time. And honestly, bro, just like straight up, as of late, if you really, hold on, you're dumping a little bit. Starlink is now available in Oman. That's not it. Pfizer's getting murdered, but Spy's doing something else right now. It's Google first. Remember, I just told you Google dropping is kind of odd. So, yeah, watch out if big tech starts getting it. Yeah, they're all coming down. And bonds up. Check currencies and anything. It's a weird day, but yeah, we ain't getting shit. Yeah, that could just be normal movement around here. CoinFox was telling you that reload. That kind of was. Coca-Cola Argentinas will invest $1 billion in Argentina. All right, yeah, so like I'm saying here too, bro, we could do a lot. Morgan Stanley exploring sale majority. Ah, fuck. Something. They're selling a unit. PNEAG with help of Goldman. So something about Morgan Stanley selling a stake. Okay, Spy just popped off that. But yeah, like you're saying here, we're going to be bouncing between life and all of it. But I got a couple of good intros. And for real, man, I think some of you, I really hope you find a community here. I really hope you could find a good thing in here. Because if you haven't noticed, there's only two options, and I like it that way. You're either going to hate me or love me. That's it. There's no in between. There's no I tolerate Josh. I promise you. You are either going to despise me or you are going to be like, wow, that is my brother. And I say that because I'm just trying to tell you, man, I do want to help. And I have a very big goal. I have a very big mission. And I would love for you to be a part of it. But if you can't open your eyes and your heart to it, then there's no point. And I'm not in the business of trying to change that. I believe in free will. And I believe you got to do it. So all I'm saying is open up your mind to it, to a lot of practicality, because even like yesterday, yeah, we're talking Jesus, we're talking evolution, we're talking God, but we're also talking making logical leaps and logical fallacies. So no matter what you believe, I really believe you could learn something. And I don't care what you believe. Even my own sister doesn't believe what I believe. I have bought her a house. I manage her account for her, and I help her out. I don't care if you guys disagree with me. I don't. But what I do care is that we could come together on something that matters. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that you get a long term, and I hope that you don't let the other factors take you away from what I could really help you on. Okay? So let's get to it, baby. And my intro of today, bro, I have a couple, man. I don't even know where I start. I'll tell you a story, a little one. Because, I shared a lot with you guys today, and I've been like, dude, like lights are bugging me all of a sudden, right? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And I'm like, again, I got real tired last week. I was sick, but I've also had something else happen. Lately, throughout the days, bro, this has been going on for months. Bro, I just get like a sweeping feeling of like just gratefulness, bro. Yo, Clorox popping, that's a value. Staple. I hit those before. We ignored that this cycle. Premiums suck. I was moving. But yeah, bro, I've been getting this feeling of like gratefulness. And like, bro, for real, I can't like I just be like loving life, bro. For real. I've been loving it. And it's not that like I have reasons to. I do and I don't. But like all I'm saying is just like I'm looking at the world, bro, and I'm just like, dude, birds are fucking beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, I'm just like, I love cars. You know that? I love cars. But I be driving, bro, and I be looking at cars, and I'm like, dude, a human built this. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like watching the nature and like the vast mountains, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm just taken aback. And I'm like, it's beautiful, bro. And like, life is good, even if it's not good. And I'm driving, and I do this again, and I say it out loud, bro. And I'm like, man, life is so good. I'm like, this is so beautiful. And I say that, and my girlfriend is next to me, right? And you know what she says? And it's funny because I don't even think she realized what she did to me. Because she said something back, and then I just shut my mouth up, and I was like, holy shit. She's right. And I was like, what? And then she had no idea, bro. I think she even kept talking, and I ignored the fuck out of her. I'm not going to lie. Because it blew my mind. And I was like, holy crap, she's right. What do you think she said? I said, life is good. I'm like, wow, life is amazing. This is beautiful. What do you think? She didn't even hesitate. And all I heard back was, what do you think she said? Trump, Canadian Prime Minister Carney held first call today. Coming out now. Sources. Bro, she said, without hesitation, she just like laughed. She says, God is good. And I was like, oh, shit, you're right. Because I didn't mean in my heart like anything different, but just right when she said it and hearing what I said, I was just like, oh. Because then I was looking, I was like, you're right. Like, bro, nothing's really different. Like, nothing. Like, honestly, I do the same shit. I do know it, yeah, but that's why I'm like, no, man. And it just hit me like a truck, bro. Because I was like, you know what? God is like, it is all God, bro. And God is the reason. Above all, and I'm just like, man. And that's what I'm saying, the beauty in humans, all these things we have made. And it's just like, bro, you could be living, I don't care what the environment is like. If you are blessed to see it good or bad, my brother, sometimes that's bigger than us. And I don't know if you're going to get this. I'm about to jump. I'm about to leap. So bear with me. Because I've said this in a PHILO. And it relates to this concept, bro. Because God is good, not us. God, you know, the world isn't good. But if you find beauty of it, finger to the sky. But I'm going to tell you something right now. And I don't know if you're going to make this connection or not. But it does relate. And I think it's very important. It's very important because I think I am realistically informing some of you that a lot is going to be expected of you. For real. I don't want, I'm telling you, I look around this world and I see the beauty and the power and what's possible. I'm not here to tell you that you're going to do small things. Fuck all that. Excuse my language. And the fact that I just said the F word, this isn't prosperity gospel. This isn't gospel. This is me telling you. That's it. One man to another, to a woman, it doesn't matter. All I'm saying here, bro, you guys have a lot you could do, and I believe in you. And I'm not, you better lock in. How dare you? Shame on you if you don't use what God has given you. Some of y'all walking around acting like God is punishing you when that is the exact opposite of it. You are punishing yourself. Step up to the plate. Let's go. You got to lace them up, baby. And I want that for all of you. And I think it's a good thing, bro. It's a good thing to demand more of yourself. It's a good thing to believe you're special. It's a good thing to believe your talent. It's a bad thing if that's all you believe in. See what I'm saying? If that's all you got, and then you start relying on that, then you're going to turn into an egotistical prick. Right? That's why I told the line there. That's why they're, you prick. I hate you, Josh. You're not, well, okay, cool. But I hope you get me, because I'm aware of it. You better be aware of it. But that being said, I don't feel bad about demanding a lot. I don't. You know that? I don't feel bad. You know why? Because when I got to answer to God and he says, I put all these young men and women in front of you, what did you do with it? That's what I'm going to be asked one day. Okay, you were blessed with this knowledge, this info. You had anything you could have asked for. What did you do with it, Josh? What did you do to the people that were there? Did you actually push them in the right direction? Did you actually help them get to the truth or not? Did you do it for them or did you do it for yourself? I have to answer those questions. You know that, right? You should start thinking about that too. So I'm not going to feel bad pushing you guys to the highest level. I'm not. Because I know in my heart what I am trying to accomplish. I know I've already seen it in some of you. S&P, SPGR crypto is growing in U.S. state reserves report. Yeah, it's real talk. I think that's as real as it gets. You know that? And that's why it's funny, because I don't like it when people try to push my will, and I think some people need to sit their ass down and realize they need to work on themselves. And I don't say that as if I'm better. I say that because that's what I'm doing. And it's more important that I'm aware of it than anybody else. Same goes for you. Your challenges in life, what you have, what you've been given, you got to handle that, bro. And you're going to answer to that. God ain't going to ask you about what Josh did. You know that, right? He's going to ask you what you did. God's not going to... I have a responsibility to what I say I believe in. I say I'm doing this for the people. I have to live up to that. I have. And that's why I'm saying I'm not going to feel bad if I'm like, no, we could do more. We could do better. I see some of this stuff, and I'm not going to walk around some of y'all acting like a Honda when you're a Ferrari. I'm not going to let it happen. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. But all of that being said, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Hear me, because I want you to hear all this. And I want you to live in it, bro. Stop playing around. Tap in. Why are you here right now? You know what I'm saying? Not everybody in the world is hearing this right now. Why are you listening to this? Bro, you got to treat it seriously. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about your life. You get what I'm saying? Like your actual life. Like, what are you going to do? That's why every action intentional. Knowing it. Stop beating yourself up for no reason too. All these many things. But all this being said, and we just talked about it yesterday, bro, you got to step up. And there's going to be a lot. I'm going to give you challenging stuff, not so you run away from it, so that you step it up and get better and better and better. But guess what, bro? Are you ready? Beautiful, beautiful line for you. And I need all of you to hear this and welcome. This is about the contradiction. The cross. Jesus died on the cross. Wow, what a symbol. That cross is also a contradiction. You need to learn to live in it. Otherwise, they will use it against you. The world, everything. And this is what I'm here to tell you. I want you to have a lot. I want you to expect a lot. I want you to work hard as possible. I want you to advance yourself. Lock in. But my brother, do not wear yourself out trying to get rich. See, I don't know if y'all saw that coming, but I believe it. I do. In all of everything I'm telling you, I believe that at the same time. Welcome to the contradiction. So, Chad, that's your intro for today. Just a real good reminder, bro. It's in God's hands. It's not in yours. God is good, not you. You see what I'm saying? Things work out, bro, because it's gonna work out. I've told you this before. That's it. You already saw it happen many times in your life. And guess what? There's been many times in your life you did everything wrong and you still got here. So, just as a reminder, VVPR, what's this? Yo, VVPR? It was unhalted. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, it just got unhalted. VVPR up 38, probably halted again. Nah, amen, bro. This is what I was saying yesterday, bro. I want y'all to tap in. I want y'all to get smarter. I want y'all to be able to even handle the most difficult text like it's nothing. Because you're getting exposed to it. You're learning. Welcome to your potential. You get what I'm saying? To exclusive energy, non-binding, all-casher offer $180 million. It's like some sort of deal. But yeah, man, I want you to be able to to have the talents and skills and grow. But at the same time, too, bro, like, I believe in the mindset, in your life, in your peace, bro. My God is peace, bro. Call me whatever you want, but you don't know what's going on in my life. Like I'm telling you, bro, I'm just driving around. I finish a stream on my life, man. God is good. I have peace. You ask, how do you not react? This is what I'm talking about. And I want the same for you. This isn't just for me. And this is why I'm saying, bro, you need to know there's a plan. You need to know the mission. You need to work. And that's the beauty about working hard, is that deep down and subconsciously, it lets you know that you're working still. You know what I'm saying? That's why the times where you're lazy and procrastinate, deep down it hits you because your subconscious knows you weren't really putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? Deep down, you know, you're like, all right, I really did sleep in. I really didn't do it like that. But like I'm telling you, man, you have to have this balance. This is not, I need you to expect so much from yourself and be willing to grow and grow and grow. You know what I'm saying? Don't back down from any challenge. Have courage. Have no fear. But also at the same time, this does not mean wearing yourself out trying to get rich. You know what I'm saying? No, rich, not just money. Don't wear yourself out. There's a big difference. Because it's not, no matter what in life, there will always be an element that we cannot control. So you need to acknowledge that deep down. Because there will be instances, regardless of your effort, things will still go good or bad. But you need to be able to mentally have the right plan, be on the right track without psyching yourself out, without burning out. That's what I'm saying. I want you guys to turn it up. Flip this switch. Let's go. New gear. Let's take it to a next level. But I'm not trying to burn you out. I'm not trying to burn out. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying we got another 5 years minimum. How do I go 5 years every day? Seriously, y'all think I've banned 100,000 people? My ops are fucking Bloomberg. It's just tiring. But it's not, because it's God, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, you calling me a beast? No. It's because there's one part of this is my job. Do you get what I'm saying? I do have to try my best. I do have to show up. Again, like I'm telling y'all earlier, I'm thinking of your safety. I got to do my job, but guess what? There's another part. I'm not wearing myself out because it's not my job. There is another part that is not, I can't, why am I wasting my energy on that? I can't control what the fuck Google want to ban me or not. Go ahead. I don't care. I can't control that. That's in God's hands. I can't control Don fucking Lemon or whoever else. I can't control every new stock. That's not my job. That's okay. But I'm not putting that mental strain. I'm not putting every win or loss on my ego and on my mind. You see what I'm saying? I'm not looking at every other YouTube channel and every other trader. Oh, I got to do this now. I'm behind. No, bro. It's just, I do my job. I got to get better. I want to do more. I want to lock in. That's it. We got to just grow. But you cannot stress yourself out. So this isn't even a book, bro. Funnily enough, it is from the Bible. That quote, don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. But do you hear what I'm telling you? Do you see? I hope you get the full image of what we are doing here right now. In these last few weeks and months, bro, I'm so proud of some of y'all. Y'all stepping up. And I'm seeing what you're doing, and I love it. These aren't bad things. These are virtuous things. But I am telling you, I don't want to see a good thing turn to bad. That's how the devil do it. You can't have bad without good. You see what I'm saying? So you start doing good. You're like, wow, I'm valuable. Wow, I do have a talent. Wow, I can grow. Wow, there is no such thing as this limitation, right? And you start doing it. Now you got a good thing. Now you got a long-term in savings. That's where the evil come in. You don't have a good thing to start with. Evil can't corrupt it. So how do you corrupt hard work? How do you corrupt motivation? How do you corrupt growing and wanting and this desire? You corrupt it by getting burnt out. You corrupt it when it goes from you know what you're doing it for to all of a sudden you're just, I got to get this. I got to get more. I got to get this. I need to make this money. I need it now. Do you see? Now a good thing is going to turn sour. Why? Because you're stressing yourself out trying to get rich. My brother, do a good job. Do a job well done. Do the right thing consistently and work hard. You don't think you're going to get these things? You see what I'm saying? Focus on a good job, you're going to get it. This is the richest man in Babylon. Success. You will get this success if you become successful. Money is not a goal. Rich is not a goal. Become the best at what you're doing. Everything you want will come with it. So I'm saying this so we could keep going, and I want more. You see what I'm saying? I want to go a very, very long way, and I want you there with me. But we ain't going to do that if you stressing out about where you're at, and I need to go. I need to get this now. Oh my gosh, I didn't do this. Intel popping. That's breaking out now. Some of you were calling that earlier. Starting to show up even on the red. Prime Minister has not spoken to Trump, says Card. That's the opposite of what Trump just said. I think it's funny. A lot of you are like, man, you're talking to me directly. I'm not. But if it hits, it hits. But this is a big thing, bro. I've burned out before. I'm telling you. Like, this is a big, big deal. And that's why, as somebody who's gone through it, I'm not one of these I'm not trying to sell you something. Do you not get it? I don't need to get you hyper motivated so I could sell you a fucking course real quick. I don't know if you understand that or not. Like, straight up, like, I want you to do good, and I've been there. And that's why I'm just telling you, bro, at the same time you start to work really hard, at the same time you're like, wow, I could do more. It's just like going to the gym, bro. Once you start getting some muscles, what's going to happen? You're probably going to injure yourself by going too hard. That's why I'm telling you, some of y'all are about to thread the needle so perfectly. And this is going to unlock a level. If you could have this balance between putting yourself in the position to work and grow and advance, while at the same time not overly stressing yourself, not getting weighed down by gold bricks in your backpack because you have this stress of wealth and riches that is pulling you down. I'm just telling you, I've been there, bro. And I crashed out. You get burned out. You're not going to want to do it. Again, just like the demon, C.S. Lewis, you're going to think you're going to set the target a little too short, and then right before success, you're going to quit. And I won't blame you because I'll be like, I get it. I've been there. You did the burnout. That's why you think I'm here to try. That's why I said I'm not trying to sell you something. I can't be up here trying to tell you, hey, bro, I expect more from you. I'll be shutting y'all down on these little ass questions because I want you to be better. But I can't be telling you and exposing you to all of these things of work, hard. And we can't do that if we're not balancing it. And you balance it with what I'm telling you now. Because, yeah, I believe everything I'm telling you. I mean, I don't have to. I wake up damn near before everybody. I still will put in my grind every day from the moment I fall asleep because I'm tired. But, again, I pray a lot. I'm also, and that's the sad part. You don't know what the sad part is? Y'all don't get it. I don't think you do. Some of you right now, this don't even hit. Because I'm telling you, I did this when I had nothing. Don't forget that. Because some people think, bro, my chill, you think my mindset, my lack of reaction, my lack of this stress, you think it's because I have money. Mother effer, the moment I did this, I got rich. I genuinely put it in God's hands. And this ain't no prosperity gospel. He ain't hand me money. But the moment I got my mind right where I said, you know what? I could give my all, and I don't need to give my brain and emotions to it. That was the moment. That's when there was another person I was talking to in my head, and it wasn't the voice telling me, you got to go make all of this money by this age or you're a failure. Saying, oh, if you don't do this now, I had another voice. The other voice just told me, do a good job, you'll be fine. There was another voice that said, I have a plan for good, not for evil. I didn't take you this far for no reason. You see what I'm saying? Sadly, this world will think now I tell you, don't stress out. You're like, Josh, you have money. No, bro. It was before. This is what got me here. This is what got me out of the burnout. This is what got me out of burning out and moving in the right way. I contradicted. I found both. Hard work, a serious effort, growth, maximization, while at the same time not letting it be the ultimate priority of pulling me down because I had this pressure. So I want this for all of you. And like I'm saying, I'm not, you don't feel me. You don't get it if you just see one side of what I'm doing. But those of you who have given me your time and you are sitting and listening, I know this stuff is motivating. I know you're learning, and I think you're seeing stuff. But make no mistake, we don't get to the finish line by stressing over the wealth of it all. It's gonna eventually, like everything else in life, bro. It's gonna be out of your control. So what is your job? To control what you can, as best as you can. Do a job well done. That's it. It's really that simple. But it's hard because, again, this temptation to wear yourself out trying to get rich, my brother. It's a very narrow road to success, and it is literally filled with men and women on the side of the road that didn't make it because of this. It's not that they didn't have the skill. It's not that they didn't have the opportunity. It was because they wore themselves out because they wanted it too quick. Again, wealth is a funny thing, man. It really is. And thousands of years ago, they've described it as something that will grow wings and fly away. That's why you're never really safe. That's why you don't chase it when you don't have it. It's a very weird thing. You can't spend your time trying to get that. In that sense, stop trying to catch the wind. Feel it. That's it. Don't fight against the wind. Go with it. But you're never going to catch it. Do you see what I'm saying? So, Chad, before we begin, I don't even have to even read the book, but I want to. But this is really important to me because I think it's going to be more important to you. Because man, and it's so awesome because, some of you guys, I was just thinking about it right now. I'm just like, man, if I could go back to the moment that I was in your shoes, I remember, and I'm like, man, and some of you now, this might feel like the worst time of your life, maybe. Oh, but you're going to look back at this. And that's what I'm saying, bro. I wish I really recognized the beauty, or I wish my mind wasn't so caught up with other stresses that's why I was like, I could have realized what was happening. Because that's what I'm saying, bro. It's not like life good. It's like God's good, bro. Because it was the same thing back then. There were still trees. There were still cars. There were still all these things. But you know what I'm saying? So Above all else, though, this is where you're going to fail. This is where I'm going to lose some of you. This is where good advice, good knowledge, hard work, and ethic fails. Because you wore yourself out. You took the bait. And you're like, I need this. I need it now. And then every action is wearing you out. That's you're like, I can't. That's why you're going to be like, no, I can't go outside today. I got to get rich. I can't go to. Why do you think I didn't take care of my body the first 3/4 of my life? Yeah, exactly. I can't go to the gym. I got to get rich. I got to focus. Oh, I can't. I don't have time to eat good. I don't got time to cook. I got to go get rich. Oh, I don't got time for this. Dude. What? That's where it's going to get you. You're going to wear yourself out. Because now this becomes the driving goal. Give yourself rest, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. A rested man with the tools in this mission and vision and drive, bro. So I'm saying, if you do the job good, don't worry about money. People good at their job get paid money. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to, you're worrying on the wrong thing, but that's the weakness. This is going to be your Achilles heel, bro. You see what I'm saying? Your Achilles heel. You're like, how did I fail if I had everything? How did I fail when I knew what to do? It's because you wore yourself out trying to get rich. You didn't even give yourself the time to appreciate your growth. You see what I'm saying? You didn't even give yourself time to really even notice how you're even changing and be vibing with that. You didn't even give momentum the credit it deserved. You know, because it'll never be enough. And that's why you got to be careful. It'll never be enough. So, Chattadonia, that's just your intro, man, but let's go. Don't fail this one. And this is a different one. This ain't me telling you, wake up, drive, grind, this, that. No, dude, this is just like, do all of those things. But I want it in a mindset. God wants it, not just me, bro. It's good to be peaceful with it. And to don't wear yourself out. That's why it's a 10-year plan. You see what I'm saying? Like, think about it. This makes sense. You know this. Don't let the words in action fool you, and don't let the present fool you. It's big. It's a long time, so you got to have that energy. So let's go, baby. Let's go. They better loaded up the book. Yeah, okay, now the book's loaded. All right, what page are we on? Okay, now it froze. Oh, you downloaded it all? Nice. All right, let me see where we're at. U.S. to target all Brazil sectors if it imposes tariffs. Yeah, I see that. Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, yeah. We ended on if they found the tree. So again, I'm a quick summary of where we're at. We're going to be reading The Everlasting Man of G.K. Chesterton. We were on chapter 1, I believe, or 2. We did half of it yesterday. But the simple lesson, he's just saying, watch out for logical leaps. And you could have evidence, but sometimes all you have is evidence, not history. He's saying, what do you mean historic and prehistoric? Adam and pre-Adamite. It doesn't really make sense. And that's why the last paragraph we read was just like, imagine in the 21st century, like if our society just got wiped out and you carved an initial on a tree and that was all that was left, all the no humans, they would just find our factories and they'd find that tree like we've seen people do in the past. They were like, oh yeah, they don't have clothes. We couldn't find them. Only metal. They probably wore metal garments. Oh, AA, they probably only knew 2 letters. So a lot of what he's talking about here, and he's bringing up evolution and other things, he said he agrees with evolution. That's the funny part. I agree with evolution. You know that? I agree in the idea of changing one thing to another. What I don't believe is that missing link, because I believe the missing link is something more miraculous than what a lot of people think it is. That's what he's talking about this whole thing and all this evolution stuff, but he's pretty much making this point of we have evidence, but he's calling out the logical lapse of people jumping to very big conclusions off limited evidence. And the lesson we got yesterday was very simple. And I hope for all of you, I'm telling you, if you didn't listen, go listen to yesterday's PHILO. It is on this channel. But if you guys don't get it, yesterday's lesson, I promise you, go read it again. That will make you, I'd say, in the top 20%, 10% of traders. If you could actually understand it. If you could actually have a good logic and you do not jump to make these impossible logical leaps. It's actually one of the biggest things, practically. That's why I really loved yesterday. Because I don't care what you believe in, bro. Some of y'all got to really have this mind. And I pray your mind is sharp enough to say, even if I'm like, these topics I may agree or not, there has to be some logical of, okay, we have evidence for this. We don't have evidence for that. We know this, we don't know that. Going with what you know and don't know and being able to think and parse information like that is advantageous for anybody. So, let's continue. So again, he said the initials Ari and Ariat. Remember, he gave those 4 things, the 4 assumptions. So it is commonly affirmed again that religion grew in a very slow and evolutionary manner, and even that it grew from one cause. But from the combination that might be called a coincidence, generally speaking, the 3 chief elements in the combination are first, the fear of the chief tribe, whom Mr. Wells insists on calling, with regrettable familiarity, the old man. Second, the phenomena of dreams. And third, the sacrificial associations of the harvest and the resurrection symbolist in growing corn. I may remark in passing that it seems to me very doubtful psychology to refer to one living and single spirit to 3 dead and disconnected causes. If they were merely dead and disconnected causes, suppose Mr. Wells, one of his fascinating novels of the future, were to tell us that there would arise among men a new and as yet nameless passion, of which men will dream as they dream of first love, for which they will die as they die for the flag and the fatherland. I think we would be a little puzzled if he told us that this single sentiment would be a combination of the habit of smoking woodbines, the increase of income tax, and the pleasure of motorists in exceeding the speed limit. We could not easily imagine this because he cannot imagine any connection between the 3 or any common feelings that could include them all. Nor could anyone imagine any connection between corn and dreams and an old chief with a spear unless there was already a common feeling to include them all. But if there was such a common feeling, it could only be the religious feeling, and all these things not be the beginnings of a religious feeling that existed already. I think anyone's common sense will tell him that it's far more likely that this sort of mystical sentiment did exist already, and that in the light of dreams and kings and cornfields could appear mystical then as they can appear mystical now. So that was a confusing paragraph because we're starting from the middle. I don't really get it. See? Just like you guys. That's why I said keep reading. What I'm assuming he is saying is shooting down this idea of not being, remember, this figure saying there's no religion. But he's saying religion has these key concepts that any view on society doesn't really tell you. I don't think a factory tells you about your dreams. So that was my take on it. Let's keep going. For the plain truth is that all of this is a trick of making things seem distant and dehumanized, merely by pretending not to understand things that we do understand. It is like saying that prehistoric men had an ugly and uncouth habit of opening their mouths wide at intervals and stuffing strange substances into them, as if we had never heard of eating. It is like saying that the terrible troglodytes of the Stone Age lifted alternate legs in rotation as if we never heard of walking. If it were meant to touch the mystical nerve and awaken us to wonder of walking and eating, it might be a legitimate fancy. As it is here intended to kill the mystical nerve and dead us to the wonder of religion. It is irrational rubbish. It pretends to find something incomprehensible in the feelings that we all comprehend. Wow. Who does not find dreams mysterious and feel that they lie on the dark borderland of being? Who does not feel the death and resurrection of the growing things of the earth as something near to the secret of the universe? Who does not understand that there must always be the savior of something sacred about authority and the solidarity of the soul of the tribe? If there be any anthropologist who really finds these things remote and impossible to realize, we could say nothing of that scientific gentleman except that he has not got so large and enlightened a mind as a primitive man. To me, it seems obvious that nothing but a spiritual sentiment already could have clothed these separate and diverse things with sanctity. To say that religion came from referencing a chief or sacrificing at a harvest is to put a highly elaborate cart before a really primitive horse. It is like saying that the impulse to draw pictures comes from the contemplation of the pictures of reindeers in the cave. In other words, it's explaining paintings by saying that it arose out of the work of painters, or accounting for art by saying that it arose out of art. It is even more like saying that the thing we call poetry arose as a result of certain customs, such as of that of an ode of being officially composed to celebrate the advent of spring, or that of a young man rising at a regular hour to listen to the skylark, then writing his report on a piece of paper. It's quite true that young men often become poets in the spring, and it's quite true that once there are poets, no mortal power can restrain them from poetry did not arise out of the poetic forms. In other words, it is hardly an adequate explanation of how things appeared for the first time to say that it existed already. Similarly, we cannot say that religion arose out of religious forms, because that is only a way of saying that it only arose when it existed already. It needed a certain sort of mind to see that there was anything mystical about the dreams or the dead, as it needed a particular sort of mind to see there was anything poetical about the skylark or the spring. That mind was presumably what we call the human mind, very much as it exists to this day. NVIDIA-backed AI cloud raises $225 million to buy more NVIDIA chips. Some NVIDIA headline, SPY's going. All right. But there is a mind. I just lost my spot. Presumably what we call the human mind, very much as it exists to this day. For mystics still meditate upon death in dreams, as poets still write about spring and skylarks. But there's not the faintest hint to suggest that anything short of the human mind we know feels of these mystical associations at all. A cow in a field seems to derive no lyrical impulse or instruction from her unrivaled opportunities of listening to the skylark. And similarly, there's no reason to suppose that live sheep will ever begin to use dead sheep as the basis of a system of elaborate ancestor worship. It is true that in the spring, a young quadruped fancy may lightly turn the thoughts of love, but no succession of spring has ever led it to turn, however lightly, to thoughts of literature. And in the same way, while it's true that a dog has dreams, while most other quadrupeds don't seem to have that, we have waited a long time for that dog to develop its dreams into an elaborate system or a religious ceremony. We have waited so long that we have really ceased to expect it. And we no more look to see a dog apply his dreams to ecclesiastical construction than to see him examine his dreams by the rules of psychoanalysis. It's obvious, in short, that for the same reason, or these natural experiences and even natural excitements never do pass the line that separates them from creative expression like art or religion. In any creature except man, they never do. They never have, and it is now all appearance very improbable that they ever will. It is impossible, in the sense of self-contradictory, that we should see cows fasting from grass every Friday or going on their knees as the old legend about Christmas Eve. It's not the sense impossible that cows should contemplate death until they could lift up a sublime psalm of lamentation to the tune of an old cow that an old cow died of. It's not in the sense impossible that they should express their hopes of a heavenly career in a symbolic dance in honor of the cow that jumped over the moon. It may be that the dog will at last have laid a sufficient store of dreams to enable him to build the temple of Cerberus as a sword of a canine trinity. It may be that his dreams have already begun to turn into visions capable of verbal expression in some revelation of the dog star as the spiritual home for the lost dogs. These things are logically possible in the sense that it's logically difficult to prove the universal negative which we call the impossibility. But all that instinct for the probable, which we all call common sense, must long ago have told us that the animals are not to all appearance evolving in that sense, and that, to say the least, we are not likely to have any personal evidence of their passing from the animal's experience to the human experiment. But spring and death and even dreams, considered merely as experiences, are their experiences as much as ours. The only possible conclusion is that these experiences, considered experiences, do not generate anything like a religious sense in any mind except a human mind like ours. We come back to the fact of a certain kind of mind that was already alive and alone. It was unique and could make creeds as it could make cave drawings. The materials for religion had lain there for countless ages, like the materials for everything else. But the power of religion was in the mind. Man could see these things, the riddles and hints and hopes that he still sees them. He can not only dream, but dream about dreams. He can not only see dead, but see the shadow of death, and was possessed with that mysterious mystification that forever finds death incredible. So that was a fat paragraph. OSIS abolished TSA. Oh, wow. What? Whoa, Clear Secure would really win off that. That's like, because they would be the private company. And then U.S. economic growth expected to slow in the next 30 years, fueled by debt and declining birth rates, CBO says. That's crazy. These are weird-ass options, too. BBAI as TSA contract. That's very interesting. I like it. I don't like the prices, but go near the money. Near the money. Yeah, those options are weird. But I like that. I'm not going to do it, but after yes, I need to cool down, bro. I need to cool down. I only want like real winners. But I like that one a lot. It's just a weird option chain. All right. So that paragraph was big, but he said the best thing. I mean, one, I hope you guys realize it. The human mind, like you realize religion is art, creativity. That's why art and religion, he's saying all the animals had the same things, like a stalk of corn that could have made them religious. How come the animal minds don't do that? Your mind does. Your mind sees death and thinks. Your mind dreams and thinks. You start thinking about all these things. You go have a good day. People write a song about a good day or a beautiful woman. Dogs don't talk about, they're like, wow, Lassie was so beautiful. Like he's saying, dogs dream. How come dogs haven't made a religious ceremony yet? They had the same stimulus. That's what it's saying. We have the same things on this planet. Animals have the same things. The food, the nature, all of it. But why do our minds go to this route? That's why he's saying these people who say religion didn't exist, that doesn't make sense. Just because you don't see, how do you have evidence of religion? He's saying that just doesn't really add up. To leap to that conclusion that these cavemans, it's all this, or it doesn't make any sense. But there's something bigger. There's actually something bigger of this paragraph that I think the last paragraph got a little bit more clarity on. Do you want to know what it is? Let me see it. Yeah, here it is. The plain truth. This is all a trick of making things seem distant and dehumanized. That's my problem, bro. That's your answer right there. You don't think it's weird that some of you are realizing this? And you're like, oh, wait. We only do have pictures. Wait, why do we call it that? Like I'm telling you, bro, you are the most special thing walking around on this planet. You watch the TV, you get so lulled into the normal thing, you literally got people walking around thinking they're just nothing. It's funny, because I just think I'm a speck of dust. Amen. But I don't, again, I look around the world and I'm like, wow, I think about God. You know what I'm saying? This is the part I don't like. This is something I want y'all unlock it, bro. You don't think it's weird that all these things in the world just want to kind of dehumanize and desensitize you to the fact that you wonder about death? You know what I'm saying? That you are the only thing on this earth that people will take death and make songs, religions, ceremonies. They'll come up with all sorts. Why? Again, food, you'll just, the way you feel about things. Like, bro, you have all these little special reactions, like nothing, but why? Why so dehumanized and insensitive to this aspect? You see, you remove this idea. You say you're just a monkey. You're a barbarian. That's why be vicious to people. That's what the caveman did. No, he didn't. That's a logical leap. But you know what it does? It helps dehumanize and desensitize this. You see what I'm saying? You think caveman you was beating people over a stick, being savage. Israel supplied intelligence discussed in Signal Chat, officials say. But do you get it? Instead of thinking these things and thinking, wow, what is this world? Wait, why am I here? But that's what this one was at. Wait, am I on the way? It's quite true that we have even these hints chiefly about a man when he unmistakably appears as man. We cannot affirm this or anything else about the alleged animal originally connecting man and the brutes. But that's only because he is not an animal, but an allegation. We cannot do certain that philanthropists ever worshipped, because we cannot be certain that he ever lived. He is only a vision called up to fill the void that does in fact yawn between the first creature who were certainly men and other creatures that were certainly apes or any other animal. A very few doubtful fragments are scrapped together to suggest an immediate creature because it's required by a certain philosophy. But nobody supposes that these are sufficient to establish anything philosophical, even in support of that philosophy. A scrap of skull found in Java cannot establish anything about religion or about the absence of religion. If there ever was such ape man, he may have exhibited as much ritual in religion as a man, or much simplicity in religion as an ape. He may have been a mythologist, or he may have been a myth. It might be interesting to inquire whether the mystical quality appeared in transition from the ape to the man, if there were really any hope of transitioning to inquire about. In other words, app, big flush, app. Yo, app. I don't know what that is, but it's big. Oh, these are mad expensive. Go for extra time just in case. Nothing's good on the weekly. The market maker's tweaking, bro. Yeah, I have no idea. Check news on that. Did they halt it? Oh, Muddy Waters short report. Boo, that's going to suck. Scam. Unless it really hits, but they already jacked up the premiums. Be careful on that. Those don't hit. I thought it was going to be bigger. Yeah, I put in some more. I couldn't get one. All right, well, we'll see. Just throw out some cheap orders, if anything. I don't like short report. Okay. I was mid-reading on that one. I just saw it. It might be interesting to acquire whether this missile appeared in transition. In other words, the missing link might or might not be mystical if he were not missing. But compared with evidence we have of real human beings, we have no evidence that he was a human being or a half human being or a being at all. It's going again. Jeez. All right. Bro, it's dumping. That's down 10%. Jeez. Hold on. I want one, but they're terrible, bro. All right. I adjusted a bit, but I don't know if it's going to hit. At all. Even the most extreme evolutionists do not attempt to deduce any evolutionary views about the origin of religion from him. Even in trying to prove that religion grew slowly from rude or irrational sources, they begin their proof with the first men who were men. But their only proof only proves that men who were already men were already mystics. They use the rude and irrational elements as only men and mystics can use them. We come back once more to a simple truth, that at some time too early for these critics to trace, a transition occurred to which bones and stones cannot in their nature bear witness, and man became a living soul. Wow, amen? Amen. You get it? The world wants you to believe your evidence is just a bone. Do you not get? That's what I'm saying, the dehumanization, this whole lack of mysticism. They want you to think you're, again, I'm pretty educated. It's kind of scary to some people. I know words and shit, bro. They want you to think like that in like words. Oh, I'm so much smarter than you. Oh, how silly. Oh, these ideas are below. They think this shit's like magic. It's not, bro. You have a soul. Do you get it? You're right. There is evolution. There was early man and women. But do you not get it? That there was a point where our soul was too obvious to ignore. Oh, I don't know if you feel me. I know, APP, I wish, bro. That was too crazy. You made money if you got one, but you had to get one. It was hard to get at a fair price. I couldn't get any of them. But we got it early. Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, believe what you want, bro. But I agree with that because at one point in man, bro, there's a point where, like, your bones don't tell you the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're bigger than that, dude. Like, imagine looking at a bone to determine our nature. No, bro. We dream and shit. Think about all the tinfoil you come up with. Think about nobody does that but us. That's your soul. Death. Oh my gosh. But that's too big to ignore. Yeah, those plays, bro. Yeah, I saw that. Ontario Premier says he spoke to Prime Minister Carney, agreed not to impose countermeasures till April 2nd. Touching this matter of origin of religion, the truth is that those who are thus trying to explain it are trying to explain it away. Subconsciously, they feel that it looks less formidable when thus lengthened out into a single, gradual, and almost invisible process. But in fact, the perspective entirely falsifies the reality of experience. They bring together two things that are totally different, the stray hints of evolutionary origins and the solid and self-evident block of humanity, and try to shift their standpoint till they see them in a single foreshortened line. But it's an optical illusion. Men do not, in fact, stand related to monkeys or missing links in any such chain as that in which men stand related to men. There may have been intermediate creatures whose faint traces can be found here and there in the huge gap of these beings if they ever existed. It may be true that they were things very unlike men or men very unlike ourselves. But of prehistoric men, such as those called the caveman or the reindeer men, it is not true in any sense whatever. Prehistoric men of that sort were things exactly like men and men exceedingly like ourselves. They only happen to be men about whom we do not know much about, for the simple reason that they have left no records or chronicles. But all that we do know about them makes them just as human and ordinary as men in a medieval manor or a Greek city. Bro, app again? Oh, damn. I thought the short report was going to dud it. That's crazy. And then UAL dumping too. I think all the airlines. And then Spy holding up here. Yeah, app, bro. Absolutely. We got it very early, but you either have to throw down a shit ton of money or you did not get paid. That's crazy. I had orders, bro. I just didn't want to go too nuts. GG's if you got that. Yeah, even the cheap one's nuts. GG's, baby. You found a $5 one? If you got it, that's mad far at the money, but just flip the premium. That's all you got to do. Oh, the airlines would have to pay? That would make sense. Did you keep going? Yeah, you ripped. I told you get near the money. I didn't take it, though. Looking from our human standpoint, I think we're almost done too, yeah? Looking from our human standpoint upon the long perspective of humanity, we simply recognize this thing as human. If we had to recognize it as animal, we should have had to recognize it as abnormal. If we chose to look through the other end of the telescope, as I've done more than once in these speculations, if we choose to project the human figure out of an unhuman world, we could only say that one of the animals had obviously gone mad. But seeing the thing from the right end, or rather from the inside, we know it is sanity, and we know that these primitive men were sane. We hail a certain human Freemasonry wherever we see it, in savages, in foreigners, or in historical characters. For instance, we can all infer from primitive legend, and we all know of barbaric life, supports a certain moral and even mystical idea of which the commonest symbol is clothes. For clothes are very literal vestments, and man wears them because he is a priest. It is true that even as an animal, he here is different from the animals. Nakedness is not nature to him. It is not his life, but rather his death, even in the vulgar sense of death of cold. But clothes are worn for dignity or decency or decoration when they are not in any way wanted for warmth. It would sometimes appear that they are valued for ornament because they are valued for use. It would also appear that they are felt to have some connection with decorum. Conventions of this sort vary a great deal with various times and places, and there are some who cannot get over this reflection and for whom it seems a sufficient argument for letting all conventions slide. They never tire of recreating the simple wonder that dress is different in the Cannibal Islands and in Camden Town. They cannot get any further and throw up the whole idea of decency in despair. They might as well say that because there have been hats of good many different shapes and some rather eccentric shapes, therefore hats do not matter or do not exist. They would probably add that there is no such thing as sunstroke or going bald. Men have felt everywhere that certain norms were necessary to fence off and protect certain private things from contempt or coarse misunderstanding and keeping of those forms, whatever they were made for dignity and mutual respect. They would respect the fact that they mostly refer more or less remotely to the relations of the sexes illustrates that two facts that must be put at the very beginning of the record of race. The first is the fact that original sin is really original, not merely in theology, but in history. It is a thing rooted in the origins. Whatever else men have believed, they have all believed that there is something the matter with mankind. The sense of sin has made it impossible to be natural and have no clothes, just as it has made it impossible to be natural and have no laws. But above all, It is to be found in the other fact, which is our father and mother of all laws, as it is founded on the father and mother, the thing that is before all thrones and even all commonwealths. So he's going to make another point. I'm not going to ruin it for you. Yeah, that's crazy. So again, he's saying if nothing else has gotten you so far, he says, how come if you look at every animal, we are either animals or one of us went mad? Humans are very different, right? So he says, explain clothes to me. Why don't you walk around naked? Why, bro? Do you think my girlfriend's dog cares about clothes? So you mean to tell me every animal in the world, every living creature except us, for whatever reason, covers themselves? That's what he's saying. So you're going to just tell me clothes didn't exist back then? He's saying you should kind of ask yourself why, even in nature, even with no law, why you should ask yourself why clothing. That's a very interesting fact. That's why he's saying, ironically enough, the Bible and the whole original, it does line up. But yeah, that's kind of weird. Think about it. We clothe ourselves. Even from the caveman, whether you think they had clothes or not, you don't think it's weird we're the only one on this planet that clothes themselves? Come on. Still working your way up. That fact that he's talking about here, that fact is the family. Here again, we must keep the enormous proportions of normal thing clear of various modifications and degrees and doubts more or less reasonable, like clouds clinging about a mountain. It may be that what we call the family had to fight its way from or through various anarchies and aberrations, but it certainly survived them and is quite as likely as not to have also preceded them. As we shall see in the case of communism and nomadism, more formless things could and did lie on the flank of societies that had taken a fixed form. But there is nothing to show that the form did not exist before the formlessness. What is vital is that form is more important than formlessness, and that the material called mankind has taken this form. For instance, of the rules revolving around sex, which we recently mentioned, none is more curious than the savage custom commonly called the kuvad. That seems like a law out of I don't even know what that is. What's a kuvad? COVID? That's all that came up. COU. ADE, Kuvaid. It's called sympathetic pregnancy, in which an expectant father experiences some of the same symptoms or behaviors as the pregnant mother. What? Hey, what? None is more curious than the savage custom called the kuvad. That seems like a law out of topsy-turvydom, by which the father is treated as if he were the mother. In any case, it clearly involves the mystical sense of sex, but many have maintained that it's really a symbolic act by which fathers accept their responsibility of fatherhood. In that case, the grotesque antic is really a very solemn act, for it's the foundation of what we all call the family, and we all know as human society. Some groping in these dark beginnings have said that mankind was once under a matriarchy. I suppose that under a matriarchy it would not be called mankind, but womankind. But others have conjectured that what is called matriarchy was simple moral anarchy, in which the mother alone remained fixed because all fathers were fugitive and irresponsible. Then came the moment when the man decided to guard and guide what he had created. So he became the head of the family, not as a bully with a big club to beat women with, but rather as a respectable person trying to be a responsible person. Now, all that might be perfectly true, and might even be the first family act, and it would still be true that men then, for the first time, acted like a man, and therefore, for the first time, became fully a man. But it might quite as well be true that the matriarchy or moral anarchy or whatever we call it was only one of the 100 social dissolutions or barbaric backslidings which may have occurred at the intervals in prehistoric as they certainly did in historic times. A symbol like the Kuvad, if it really was such a symbol, may have commemorated the suppression of a heresy rather than the first rise of religion. We cannot conclude with any certainty about these things except in their big results in the building of mankind, but we can say that in the style, the bulk of it and the best of it is built. We can say that the family is the unit of the state. BlackRock, Murray to stand for re-election. That is the cell that makes up the formation. Round the family do indeed gather the sanctities that separate men from ants and bees. Decency is the curtain of that tent. Liberty is the wall of that city. Property is built the family farm. Honor is but the family flag. In the practical proportions of human history, we come back to that fundamental of the father and the mother and the child. It has been said already that if this story cannot start with religious assumptions, it must nonetheless start with some moral or metaphysical assumption, or no sense can be made of the story of man. And this is a very good instance of that alternative necessity. If we are not of those who begin by invoking the divine Trinity, we must nonetheless invoke a human Trinity and see the triangle repeated everywhere in the pattern of the world. For the highest event in history, to which all history books look forward and leads up, is only something that is once the reversal and renewal of that triangle, or only something that is at once the reversal and renewal of that triangle, or rather, it is one triangle, superimposed so as to intersect the other, making a sacred pinnacle or pentacle of which the mightier sense of that of the magicians, the friends are afraid. The old Trinity was of father and mother and child and is called the human family. The new is of child and mother and father and has the same name, the Holy Family. It is no way altered except in being entirely reversed, just as the world which is transformed was not the least different except in being turned upside down. So once again, what separates you from a bee or an ant? Family. Ironically enough, the Holy Trinity, you need the Holy Trinity. You know why? Because without the Holy Trinity, the form of it, you would never have man. You can't tell me about the first man without the first mom, the first dad, the first child. Sounds like a trinity to me. See, I'm going to take it one step deeper. Because do you remember what he was talking about? Because he was answering the people that say, you have this evidence, but no, there's no such thing as religion. He's saying, then why is there a trinity? Why don't we have a queen or matron? Again, you don't act like a bee. You don't act like an ant. Once again, this animal called human has gone mad. You know what I'm saying? Pretty deep. But Chatadonia. Family is important. Amen. And once again, I think today's lesson, man, we're going to go back to it. One, please don't stress yourself out, man. Don't wear yourself out. You got some good things coming your way. You're already doing good. Wearing yourself out, the only way you're going to clap yourself, bro. But two, I know it sounds corny. I know it sounds intense. Like I said the other day, bro, like, for real, bro, if I was still doing a lot of drugs, this would be weird. You would think I'm cuckoo. But it sounds cuckoo because the world is set up from the beginning of explaining evolution. It is all set up to dehumanize who you really are. And I don't mean that in a way where they hurt you. I just mean it is so insensitive and it's trying to separate and make your life seem like this cold, natural existence. There's great things in nature, but nature is telling us that you are standing out. You see what I'm saying? Stop being so indifferent about why you're on this earth. Yeah, you're just a number. No. Do you get it? Do you see how this... Because if you believe all this stuff, do you see how it leads you to really accepting that? For real, man, I don't know what you think I'm trying to do, but at bare minimum, I don't want y'all to believe that because I don't agree with it. But I hope you see why. What do you mean you're just a number? You're believing these illogical leaps, these leaps in logic that make all these assumptions, even with the evidence we have. And if you believe that, it just gives you this cold view on the world. And you think you're just here. You really think you're like a caveman. That's crazy. Even that's what I'm saying, bro. They played the caveman. That's what even he's saying. He's saying, "Wait, so you mean to tell me this caveman acted like a barbarian? Didn't have any beliefs? What are you saying? You don't know that. You don't think that caveman had a dream one day?" And was like, holy crap, I went to bed and I lived. Think just like, again, some of you got dreams you've never forgot. Dude, that's not normal. Because you could even take your dream and you'll act on it. No other buddy does that. No animal, no being, no nothing. But again, today, at the bare minimum, stop being cold with your existence. You know? If I could give you anything practical, bro, like look around. You want more appreciation? Look around in the world and realize how amazing it really is. That this was people that brought all this together. This was a human mind. It is the human mind that separates everything. Human mind is bringing this art out. So I don't reject that. I agree with that. You know, right? That's why, like, that's what I'm saying. I believe in evolution. I don't believe that missing link. I believe the human is extremely rare. I think it's special. I think you are. But that mind that we all possess, bro, you could use it. You can use it. You get what I'm saying? All of you are equipped with this same mind that is able to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? So please utilize it. That's what I want you to walk away with today. I want you to not stress yourself out so we could keep going hard. But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why would you opt for this dehumanized view that downplays your intelligence and truly what you are here for on this earth? I'm sorry. I would not accept that. You know why? The evidence says something to the contrary. So, Chad, take that one to the bank. That is your philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure guys are subscribed. We're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. Drop your thumbs up on that video. You're on mobile, press hot chat, X out the chat, hit the thumbs up button. Second link for the nightly watch list and main channel. First link for the Scream Alerts boot camp and real estate course. Amen. All right, let's free Gen Pop. Let's get you some uncle and don't wear yourself out, baby. You made the right choice. I hope so, man. I hope so. Make sure you watch today's intro to PHILO because I'll remind you guys, but it's important because I don't want this shit to have I want everything we're doing to have a good impact on you. And if you don't wear yourself out, it will. You wear yourself out, you're going to hate all this shit. Here's your uncle.
Long term. Am I mad or just passionate? Are you fam or just acting it? No, I talk a lot, but I always keep passing it. Gotta keep it in the roto. We are not the same, like rice isn't risotto. All the real ones know it's always no photos. Hit the market crash, stop backing, I'm the go-to. Just because you know me, that don't mean that I'ma know you. Damn, talk stops non-stop, I am really him. If your name not Ben, we ain't really friends. Franklin at the end if you ain't getting that. I think all y'all do sedatives, or worse, I hope it's not hereditive. You ride the wave, but I invented it. I saved, and then I started lending it. Make trades, then I put it to another crib. That's a formula I did my whole life. My bro knew I was quick, so he taught me how to fight. Said you being followed if they take 3 rights. If they don't want your chain, then they want your life. So I go and share both of those. If you kill me or you rob me, either way the money overflows. All about $1, you can tell my heart is really cold. Something in my head, cause my soul is getting really old. Don't let a gamble tie your mind up. Nah, don't let a bitch fuck your life up. It's true, nothing good happens at the night, bro. Money is fun, son, I hope you made your mind up. Tell me who the line up, show me where you find her. You can have a rollie, it don't matter when your time up. Handed him a Bible when he asked for a light, bro. We are not the same, like a lion's not a tiger. The difference is the difference. That's my old bitch's shit, that's my new bitch. That's the YouTube and the Twitch. From the hills to the trench, in the game to the bench. The difference make the man.
Oh, I love this song. But yeah, that's it for now, baby. PHILO is done. We're coming down a little bit. Again, Google app. That was during PHILO. If you got it, we had it early, but very, very hard to play. But we're back. No other updates. There's a couple of Carney ones. I'm getting Trump nominee news. We heard about TSA. Trump said he wanted to abolish TSA. So there's a couple moves there, but other than that, baby, we are back. Good PHILO. I think all of you should listen to it. I hope, man. I hope. And don't use today's intro. Don't use that to chill, though. That's it. You got to use today. Just because I told you, don't stress yourself out. Don't wear yourself out, man. Don't let that be the excuse to let you let up. You see what I'm saying? You don't burn out, but you got to make sure, though. Don't use that as an excuse to lack. Oh, I don't know if they feel me, bro. Amen. Amen. Well, we're back, though. We got, 1 hour, baby. Power hour on the dot. You've practically gone nowhere. So you are in the gulag of yesterday. I know the pain. They ain't show me love. That's good. Either way, it's fine, man. That's good. I'm glad, though. You didn't flex on it because you didn't call it. I appreciate. So good work, though. Amen, though. I think I don't know what I'll do. I got that one spot play. I was going to take that other one, and I didn't. Yeah, I'm chilling. Resistance band. Oof. I don't know if I'm a gym today. My abs are really sore because I did legs yesterday, but today would be an arm day. I just can't do cardio. I'm just tired. That's it. They got my abs. Every time the abs get sore, bro, I just start to get clapped. Bronny. That's your favorite one? I don't know. I like all of them. I don't know. I like Repent a lot. Or The Wolf. Probably my favorite. I don't know. I like that album a lot. There's some other ones. You know that? You guys know there's a whole nother set you've never heard? I don't even show you because I feel bad because I pretty much leaked that other one before you even heard it. So, yeah, man. The Flash, that's a good one too. Locked in 2 miles. It's good. I might go for a long walk. But I like strength training. I heard this the other day. to tell me if it's true. And they were saying that, like, because strength, like, when you lift weights, it doesn't, like, require that much energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really doesn't. When you do, like, when you get tired, the last couple of sets, they, like, raise your heart rate and all of that. But this lady was saying that, like, pretty much the whole point of strength training is that on those hard sets, your body goes for glucose, takes the storage from the muscles, and then you build up more muscles. So then that way, that's where you store your sugar. And then your sugar can be used in that way. So I don't know if this was just justifying my candy addiction. But yeah, Prime Minister live?
Our workers and our industries during this difficult period.
Yeah, I got headlines too.
But above all, we will build a new Canadian economy.
All right, well, here, be careful.
We will build,
because I'll tell you this now, they're not going to retaliate till April 2nd. So I don't know what he's going to announce, but keep that in mind. But yeah, this is live. Pay attention.
Canada, pas de retour en arrière. Le prochain gouvernement et tout ce qui suivra.
He says U.S. is no longer a reliable partner.
Relation fondamentalement différente avec les États-Unis.
We primarily
coming to terms with this sobering reality.
That's crazy.
Is the first step to taking necessary actions.
This guy's a fucking idiot, respectfully.
Our nation. But it's
I think they're doing it to get negotiating power, but
last night the President of the United States reached out to schedule a call.
Not bearish, but kind of.
This opportunity to discuss how we can protect our workers and build our economies.
I wonder if they're going to do it. I mean, just remember, when I say idiot, what I'm talking about, if you're not aware, like Japan or Canada and Mexico and Japan, they have taken over the exports or our imports pretty much. They weren't always there. But that's why it's interesting, because they're making so much money off America. You would think they would kind of work a good deal instead of trying to actually fight.
Canado-américain, et je parlerai aux chefs d'entreprise, aux syndicats et aux dirigeants autochtones. Ces discussions permettront d'avoir une réponse coordonnée en tenant compte.
I know, but a lot of people don't realize, like, Canada and in Mexico, bro, like, they took China's spot for America. But like I'm saying, it's very interesting that they're not, that they're willing. I guess it makes sense why they're willing to war for it, but he has a lot of margin is what I'm trying to say. If I had that margin, I wouldn't necessarily try to fight. That's why I say maybe they're just trying to get political capital.
We're all on the same page. We won't back down. We will respond forcefully. Nothing is off the table to defend our workers and our country.
You kind of already knew this, but this, again, like I'm telling you, the autos were big. Wait till April 2nd, but you already, this is the global escalation part.
The road ahead will be long. There is no silver bullet. There is no quick fix. And I know and I understand that many are feeling anxious and worried about the future. Fundamental change is always
that would be like
unsettling.
If you were making $50,000 a year,
I have every
and then I give you this job. I hire your company, right? And now you're making $250,000 a year for 4 years, and you were just making $50,000, right?
With every fiber.
And then year number 5, I tell you,
because we
all right, you got to give me a 10% discount on the work you're doing.
As never before.
So now you're only going to get $225.
Now we are going
Would
to
you threaten to quit
of recent months.
if I did that? That's what I'm saying with this whole Mexico-Canada thing. I'm just going off the numbers of where they stood in terms of importer.
The federal government will do everything in its power to protect Canadian workers and businesses. We will be here for you every step of the way. In the past week, My government committed to use every dollar collected
Bro,
from
app
our
still,
retaliatory
jeez.
tariffs to protect our workers. Et la semaine dernière, j'ai annoncé plusieurs mesures ciblées, temporaires.
You
pour
kind of
soutenir
would
les
quit
travailleurs
if you had
et les
options, but you
entreprises
don't.
directement
In this
touchées
case,
par la guerre commerciale.
no one's going to buy more than America. That's how you got there.
Pour les
Remember,
travailleurs, nous avons
they were only
supprimé
doing 50, like
le
50 billion or
délai
something.
de
I'll find you the
d'une
chart.
semaine de l'assurance emploi. Nous avons fait en sorte qu'il n'ait pas à épuiser leur indemnité de licenciement avant de toucher l'assurance emploi et nous avons facilité l'accès à l'assurance emploi.
He said Josh is the fastest with the news.
Nous avons reporté les paiements d'impôts
And then you
sur
put a
sur le
monthly
revenu,
payment,
ainsi que les
10%,
versements de la
and you'll get the
TPS
best
et de
utility
la TVH.
in that whole damn
Nous avons
account.
mis en place un nouveau
Stop fucking
mécanisme
around.
de financement pour leur fournir
You could
de
do it really
liquidités.
small
C'est une aide
and set it
financière
month by
énorme
month.
pour que les entreprises puissent
And
passer
please,
à
please
travers
just do it
la tempête.
consistently.
Et nous avons augmenté le
And you're going to
financement
find
des
out how
agences
easily
de
that shit goes
développement
up.
régionales.
Serious. That's what he said.
Our
I'm
biggest
translating
challenge
it.
as a country is becoming the most urgent. Over the coming weeks, months, and years, we must fundamentally reimagine our
Is this the
economy.
chart? No, this is
We will need to
yields down,
ensure that
stocks
Canada
down.
can succeed in a drastically different world.
I got to go to the
The
archive.
old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations, is over.
It's over.
What exactly the United States does next is unclear. But what is clear is that we, as
So here's
Canadians,
the
have
deal.
agency. We
This is a
have
big
power.
claim, you guys. I don't
We
know
are
if you're
masters
understanding
in
it.
our own
And it
home.
doesn't matter if it's
Nous sommes
negotiation or not.
maîtres chez nous.
Because, like I'm saying, now
We can
other
control
countries are doing what Trump is
our
doing.
destiny.
You don't know if they're serious
give
or if they're
ourselves
just trying to
much more
negotiate.
than any
You get what
foreign
I'm saying?
government, including the
So
United
if you
States,
take it at face
can
value,
ever
though,
take away.
this is
We can deal
escalation.
with this crisis
And
best
now it's kind of
by
like
building
the
our
first
strength
guy
right
to
here at
quit.
home.
You know those
It
like
will
movie
take hard
scenes?
work.
He's being hella
It will
dramatic.
take
That's what I'm
steady and
saying.
focused
It's like the movie
determination
scenes, you
from
know, where they're like,
governments, from businesses,
I'm
from
leaving.
labor, from Canadians.
Who's coming with me?
We will need to dramatically reduce
That's
our
what's gonna.
reliance
That's
on
what
the
we need
United
to
States.
see next.
We
Because if
will
it's
need
just
to
them
pivot
in
our
Mexico,
trade
they're
relationships
fucked. But
elsewhere.
you want to see,
And we
does the
will need to
EU,
do
does
things previously
Germany?
thought
You
impossible
see what I'm
with
saying?
speeds we haven't
This
seen
is it. It's a
in
game of chicken,
generations.
pretty much, between them and Trump now.
We can make
But yes,
ourselves
this
more
is
productive and therefore
escalatory.
more competitive.
Ignore what the market's doing
can
because it's
break down
not. You're
internal
not getting
trade
that
barriers.
reaction. But
We can
that's what you
build a
should be looking
stronger
ahead
and more
for.
resilient economy.
Very
And that's what
interesting.
I'm squarely focused on as your Prime Minister. During my first 9 days as Prime Minister, I came to an agreement with the provinces and territories to remove all exemptions under the Canada Free Trade Agreement. As the federal government, we created a
There you
first
go. You're
mile
hearing what he's
fund
gonna
to
do.
provide
Some of the
capital
options.
to build transmission and transportation networks to link extraction sites to rail lines and roads.
Yeah, here it is.
Nous
Oh,
mettons
no,
en
wrong
place
one.
une procédure d'approbation à un guichet unique. Nous éliminons les excisions fédérales, créant des doublons en reconnaissant les évaluations provinciales pour les grands projets. Un projet, un examen.
Is it on my
Nous
other computer?
présentons une législation d'ici le 1er juillet pour que les marchandises puissent circuler dans tous les pays sans barrière. Nous supprimons les barrières fédérales qui empêchent les provinces et les territoires de faire un commerce les unes avec les autres. My government is committed to removing any labor mobility restrictions for federally regulated professions by Canada Day. And we're now working with the provinces to identify projects of national significance in order to accelerate the time frame to build them. Hier, je me suis engagé à créer un fonds de réponse stratégique pour le secteur
Why he
automobile.
keeps saying
Un
crayon?
fonds de 2 milliards de dollars qui protégera les emplois des travailleurs touchés par les tarifs de
I
M.
just got to
Trump.
go through these.
We will create an all-in-Canada network of supply chains for the auto manufacturing components, straight through to Canadian steel and aluminum and critical minerals. And we committed today to create similar strategies in other sectors that are under threat from President Trump's tariffs. All of these initiatives will go a very long way to offsetting the costs of these tariffs if they are permanent, and they will help to realize our potential as a nation. But there's even more to do. And that's why I chose to go to France and the United Kingdom, two long-standing and reliable partners, friends, and allies.
That's the thing. I don't think people get it.
And it's why the time
yesterday was big.
For a broad renegotiation.
Trump already clapped them with that tariff.
Security and
that's why I kept saying this morning. I'm like, these auto tariffs are actually,
it's why
like, it was pretty aggressive.
With our partners in
and then not easing up with USMCA for it. It's not that they do a Canadian car. It's because they finish them in Canada.
Stronger than ever.
And then it's part of the other agreement, and then the aluminum and the other imports. Canada don't make cars. Same thing with Mexico. But all the cars go through Canada and Mexico.
To unite.
And then there was an agreement in place to kind of save money. But that's why I'm saying
it's my solemn promise.
This isn't. He kind of clapped them.
It's my solemn promise that when President Trump threatens us again, we will fight back. We will fight back with everything we have to get the best deal for Canada. We will build an independent future for our country, stronger than ever. We will stand up for Canadian workers. We will stand up for Canadian business. We will stand up for our history, our values, and our sovereignty.
Hey, Spy's ripping on cutting ties with Canada.
Canada strong. Canada free. Canada forever. Thank you. Merci, and I'll be happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We will now take 15 minutes of questions. One question, one follow-up.
Bonjour, M. Carnier, Raymond Fillon de TVA. Vous avez dit que le président Trump a contacté votre bureau pour organiser un appel. Est-ce que cette conversation entre vous et le président Trump a eu lieu? Sinon, à quel moment aurait-elle lieu?
He's like, bro, I don't understand French. That's what I thought he was going to say. So this is one of the charts. I have another one. I have the import amount chart, but this is just to show you the consumption of Americans, like our GDP, where it's coming from. Mexico is rocketed, bro. That's what I've been trying to tell you guys. And then Canada is already up there, but they used to be at the bottom. So it's that's why I'm trying to say, like, the whole income thing, they just got a lot in the last couple of years. So I think they're going to fight to keep it, but you don't want to actually lose it, if that makes any sense. You get what I'm saying? So I see why they want to fight for it, but at the end of the day, just don't lose that, because they got a pretty sweet deal.
Mais il faut avoir une réponse compréhensive. Et tout le monde le sait que le 2 avril, il y aura des autres initiatives, des autres menaces tarifaires des Américains. Alors, après tout cela, on peut avoir...
It is. I mean, it's a good move for Canada to try to get the best deal they can. That's why I'm saying I get why they're doing it. The only thing is that just for you and everybody else, you just now have to go through the back and forth and the uncertainty. But I think generally we know where it's going to end. They're going to come to a deal. Trump already flexed. He's flexing good now, but then we need to see where they meet in the middle and how long that takes. I need to find you the other, but look into the data though. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of data that could help you understand why. Why is everybody fighting? Why is this a big deal? Why are the cars important?
Is next week when the auto tariffs come in. Specifically, how much in terms of tariff measures you're going to take on what portion of American goods and what non-tariff measures you'll use?
So, thanks for the question.
So listen here.
And it goes.
See if he says anything new.
The previous question, if I may just expand on my answer.
Yeah.
To that. This is a negotiation.
Good.
It's in part a negotiation where we know certain things, and we know that there was going to be an initiative on automobiles. It was brought forward.
That's it. He just wants to put shit on the table. That's why he's putting on the table, even throwing away NAFTA, low key.
Those initiatives,
or getting rid of any exemption on a regional trade agreement then if Trump is going to do the same.
It's not unique in and of versus Canada or versus Mexico. We have the best deal of a bad deal, is the way I would term
Mexico has more to lose
than what the Americans have proposed. The second is that we know that
bro, he knows
reciprocal tariffs, as you referenced in
honestly,
your question,
I think
on
he's
the 2nd of April.
doing the right thing
as well
to make
there are potential tariffs,
the vision, but he's going to cave.
With respect
he
to
knows.
Other, quote, strategic
he knows what's up.
Forestry.
I can smell it on him.
Smell
like a croissant.
Sorry, that was there was a comma after that. I'm sorry. It was a very long set of conditions, but it was to set up the point, which is that we have.
You think he's a wild card? No, I think Mexico is the wild card.
To those.
Let me put it this way.
In our judgment,
on their own, I don't think any. I think he's going to cave.
Of U.S. initiatives that are going
now you pair up Mexico and Canada. They could play hardball together better than any of them can do individually.
And we will respond then. And in a negotiation, it doesn't.
But then he has to get Mexico to agree, though.
And say what you're going
but then
to
again,
do,
they're not going to agree.
So
that's the part everybody's leaving out. You think America's the bad guy, okay. How come all these other people aren't just teaming up then? It's harder than you think. At winners and losers. Again, econ lessons on the main channel, I think, are very useful during these moments. Bro, Nibis, CNBC pump, bro, that worked.
Ça vaut mieux pour le Canada de réagir après tout cela, ok, avec la transparence. Et on va le faire. Ça, c'est clair. Other point I would make, I have discussed this with Premier Ford in his role as Council of the Federation. Obviously, be discussing with the First Ministers under that guise when we convene tomorrow. And I think it's appropriate in taking a response to have those consultations, get the perspectives. The federal government obviously acts taking its responsibilities, but makes sense to engage, and we will act.
President Trump today warned Canada about responding and retaliating, warning that he will escalate his response against Canada, and your minister, Mr. LeBlanc, has spoken to Mr. Lutnick. What message, then, are you taking from that? And are you prepared to bear the brunt of that escalation threat from Mr. Trump? How much pain can Canada take?
Well, look, our responsibility, my responsibility, Minister LeBlanc, Minister Champagne, Mr. Joly, the Cabinet, the government, our responsibility is to Canada and is to get the result for Canada. So our response will be calibrated in order to achieve that. We choose our own allies in Canada. We choose how we engage those allies. We are sovereign.
Market ripping.
Of the president's comment. I don't take.
I don't think if it's tied as much, but if it is, I genuinely think. Hear me out. I think the market's interpreting this as good news. I know that may sound odd, but.
It's
I think he's going to cave, and I think the market feels it. But then again, weird end of the week with everything else.
The President and I will speak, as I mentioned. I look forward to the discussion. We'll see where we go from there.
Just thinking what we were talking about, clearing event. Because now he just said really bad things, but now you're getting it out of the way. They're not really calling the bluff as much as it's just, you're like, okay, that's it? Okay, now we can focus.
Decisions. I take note of his comments, nothing more.
So you don't even have to look into it that deep. That's what a clearing event is. You just get over the event, and then we just move on. Yeah, unmuddying the waters.
Quite a reaction from President Trump. When you're considering what the retaliatory tariffs that you bring in the future, is there a consideration to put?
Let's see, though. Until you break out of the range, nothing's meaningful. I'm eating nerds now.
We have many options, and we will use them. We will use them judiciously.
And so, on oil and gas, that is an option that you're considering putting an export tax on.
Look, yeah, as I said a moment ago to Ms. McCharles, it's a negotiation. You don't, you act when you act. You don't pre-commit.
Thank you. Next question.
He's not bad though, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I like this guy way more than Trudeau so far. He doesn't seem like a kid. Like he seems very kind of like Powell. Yeah, he was Bank of Canada. He was a central banker.
Pas plus que ça. Follow up.
Je vais vous amener sur un autre sujet. Hier, quand vous étiez à Kitchener et que vous avez parlé avec des sympathisants libéraux, vous avez dit que vous avez besoin d'un gouvernement majoritaire parce que vous voulez faire des gros changements.
Well, you guys should save this chart for the next year. I'm trying to find my other data, but save this one. Very good.
Il faut gagner chaque vote.
That's what I keep telling you guys about bonds and stocks. And this year.
Surtout dans cette situation, est que le gouvernement a un mandat clair et fort. Ça vaut mieux d'avoir un mandat clair et fort afin d'avoir une grande négociation.
He said they could go to Washington next week.
Négociation. Probablement la plus
I don't know. It came up on the wire, but yeah.
Surtout pendant ma vie. Hein. Quand je suis né, le pacte d'Otto a été créé. Et maintenant, c'est fini. C'est fini avec les tarifs. Hein. Alors, c'est très, très sérieux.
I don't think it's a good idea, but like I'm saying, I've already told you why. I'm like, kind of being an idiot, but at the same time, you can't be a new president, come into office, and then look like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I think he kind of just putting up a little bit of fight reasonably. Not as like, it doesn't sound emotional, but it has a punch. Which I think is a good middle ground between what Trudeau and Sheinbaum did on the first round.
Coming out of this election, given the seriousness of the situation, in autos, in forestry, in aluminum, in semiconductors, across a range of industries, we haven't seen, this is the biggest, if I didn't say this exactly, but I'll resume, the biggest crisis in our lifetimes. And the government is going to need to act, and the stronger the mandate is, the more effective we are going to be getting the best deal for Canada with respect to the Americans. Madame.
Suivante question.
Bonjour, Monsieur Carney, Laurence Martin de Radio-Canada. L'Ontario semblait croire qu'il pourrait être touché par des tarifs moins importants sur l'automobile que peut-être d'autres juridictions.
C'est correct.
Est-ce que c'est vrai?
C'est vrai.
C'est votre compréhension?
Oui, ouais. OK, continue et je vais répondre.
Non, mais c'est ça ma question. Est-ce que c'est ce que vous avez compris aussi?
Les tarifs, par exemple, pour le Japon et la Corée et pour l'Union européenne, en effet, c'est plus grand que les tarifs pour le Canada, pour le Canada. Mais 25%, c'est grand. Et c'est des tarifs pour des autos et des pièces. Alors, suivant. The question is, in effect, the tariff for Canada on autos is lower than the tariffs, the effective tariffs for Japan and Korea and other jurisdictions, because there are other supplemental aspects to those tariffs. But that said, the tariff is 25%, and it's significant going from. Anyways, I think you follow the point. Yes.
Quand vous allez parler à M. Trump dans les prochains jours,
restoration.
Quelles sont les chances que vous le fassiez reculer sur les tarifs sur l'automobile?
C'est une bonne question. Je crois que
there was that TSA news too. You rip, man. That was a good one.
Il a déjà identifié 5 secteurs stratégiques pour l'économie américaine. Les autos, le bois d'œuvre.
You're just saying English words with a twist.
Un secteur, évidemment.
Secteur, stratégie, économie. It's English.
Il a une stratégie qui utilise des tarifs. Alors,
Tarif. Oh, aren't you so fancy? Tarif.
En avant.
Oh.
Ça, c'est difficile. Mais la nécessité
Necessity.
de changer son,
Fucking busy. He's literally speaking in cursive.
son
Necessity,
initiative,
tarif.
d'hier. Ça existe. Alors, on
So
verra.
exist.
Ce sera une appel, pas
Why don't you in French?
C'est le comment
And then
de négociation, c'est pas la fin. Ce sera pas la fin. Do you need it in English or?
Yes, please.
Oh, does Lulu have earnings today? Oh, that could be a good one. Just got to check the pricing, to be honest.
I listed them. Hopefully they were clear. Pharma, forestry, lumber, effectively, steel and aluminum, autos, semiconductors. Yes, thank you. Yes, I thought I mentioned it, but yes, semiconductors. Those are his 5 strategic areas. He will use a tariff strategy. He's been clear about this, to use a tariff strategy to repatriate as much activity of that to the United States. It's not clear that's going to change. Okay? But what I said was, what I emphasized, what's essential is that there are huge parts of the auto sector where it will be necessary to change, or the damage to the U.S. economy will be much greater. Last point is, our conversation is the start of a negotiation, not, don't expect it to be the end.
Last question.
All right, he keeps ending it with that.
Do you have a strategy to save the auto industry that doesn't rely on U.S. market access?
Yeah. This is a crucial question, and I'm going to broaden your question if I may. I'm going to broaden the question to the 5 strategic industries I just referenced, all of which are important to Canada. And in fact, I would broaden it further to strategic industries that are important to Canada that are not on the list for the president. For example, critical metals and mineral. For example, artificial intelligence. For example, our energy sector, both clean and conventional. For all of those areas, we have been developing strategies, and we will develop
Go to my Twitter.
strategies that work best
I
for
posted
Canada.
the Lulu earnings preview.
Which is, we announced yesterday, for exactly these reasons, in anticipation of what happened today. It wasn't originally, or yesterday, sorry, as it turned out yesterday.
You're getting a dump. I don't see headlines. 3:30 on the dot.
The strategic response fund.
Airlines still dumping.
But the core of that is to build out the auto sector. And our
So they're
auto
pricing in
supply
10%.
in Canada.
It's going to
as
be
much as
expensive.
possible.
I haven't
Instead
looked at
of
the option
autos
chain
going
yet.
back and forth across the border 6 times and getting a tariff each time. We now know the level of that tariff. But integrating the supply
Yeah, bro, it's
chain
pricing in
domestically.
$30.
I'm using a fancy term, backwards integrating into steel and aluminum to help our steel and aluminum industries that are used and encourage that. Backwards integrating further into critical metals and minerals that we're going to develop. And I listed a number of things that we did at the start that agreed with provinces and the development, working very closely with Premier Ford and others on development of the Ring of Fire rapidly, because that is all relevant to the competitiveness of our auto industry, as well as good jobs there and other things. So we have a very clear strategy. We put $2 billion on the table for that. We're changing our federal procurement. We're only going to buy Canadian cars, 40,000 vehicles that we buy in federal procurement. You will see a lot more of that. That's part of an integrated industrial strategy that has the objective of having strategic economic.
My problem is in the money or out of the money. So I still think earnings works, the strategy for, 2 standards. But the problem is that this isn't a good environment for,
trading relationships with reliable
it's not a good environment for out of the money.
Question that
That's the only
hangs
thing I
over
don't
all of
like.
this with the United
And then
States
it's pricing in a lot.
is,
What if it just moves
there
up
going
10
to
and
be a
then sells
point
off
in
in
the
the morning
future
on
through
bad
negotiation where in
PCE
certain
or
sectors,
vice versa? That's kind of
Canadian
the
workers,
issue.
Canadian
But I like it a
businesses,
lot.
Canadians as a whole can have that confidence in terms of a deeper commercial relationship with the United States in certain sectors. That remains to be seen.
Follow-up.
Can we sustain an auto industry without the United States?
We can sustain an auto industry with, we can sustain an auto industry with the U.S.
Doesn't make
having
sense.
tariffs.
Yeah, bro. Even if you spend a
access
lot,
to
though,
other
you
markets.
double up. It's actually crazy. 'Cause I'm like,
Provided
even if
we
you played the
engage
in the money
very
priced
deliberately in partnership,
I'm just hypothetically,
business,
even if you did it at
labor,
$1,800,
to reimagine the auto sector,
even if
and
it got up
rebuild
to
that,
like
retool that auto
360-ish,
sector. And that's very
you'd only
much
make
what
like 2,000.
we're putting on the table. We're engaged with doing. It's Part of the reason why I was in
it did bounce. I mean,
Windsor
10% from the
through
low.
Southwestern Ontario
That's what you
yesterday.
priced in.
That's part of the
sadly.
reason why I was meeting with the president of Unifor to how do we work together with labor on exactly this issue. But I'll go back to what I said a moment ago, and this is a key message for Canadians. We are going to have to do some things very differently. We're going to have to make some big changes, but we can make those big changes. We do have options. We do have agency. We do have power. We do have the resources, particularly if we work together. And so there is a big silver lining in this situation. We didn't ask for this fight. We've got it, and we're going to fight back. We're going to protect workers in the short term. But we're taking the lesson. We have to look after ourselves. We have to build Canada strong.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes today's press conference.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think, in fairness to the others, that's probably the end, right? Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
All right. Well, Canada literally ripped on all of those announcements. I gave you guys some commentary in between. Yeah, app's still dying, bro. We caught that so early, bro. I just wish it wasn't such a weird chain, bro. Some of you got some good ones, though, so I'm proud of you. That's fire, bro. I'm looking at Lulu. I don't know, Lulu, I like it, but this just isn't been a good environment with earnings. That's what I'm saying, like, with you need to really get a big blowout or not. I mean, like I said, go to my Twitter. You can see the numbers. I mean, they're expected 4.7, 2.39 billion. It's really going to be about the guidance. They do have comps based on a constant dollar. They may benefit off of the dollar coming down recently. So, yeah, I don't know, man. That one's going to be, I like it, believe me, but it's, look at this, 2 quarters ago, it's done nothing. And then it has this high price target, so, yeah. A lot of gaps to fill, though, up and down, I think. That's crazy. Lulu's the same price as 2020? What am I missing? I thought they were doing way better, but yeah, they grew way ahead of 2020. That was it. That's what I was missing. Credits, honestly, they will, to be honest. But you're just gonna, there's no chance of like big gains, or it's all gonna be defined. But hypothetically, I do think that selling premium might be there. I think Lulu's still cool. I don't want to tell you it if I say it because I don't want anybody's like wife to listen to this and then get mad at me, or any of the girls in here. It's only like 5, but still. You want me to say it? Don't get mad at me. I don't want, this might change the habits, shopping habits. Don't say it? Oh, okay. I guess I don't. Real cult news on Twitter. Hold on, I'm shopping. Shopperoonie. These are weird. Man. Just in the money don't hit. All right, I'll tell you it. This is what my girlfriend told me. She said now the like older women shop at Lulu, and then the younger women shop at Alo. That's what she said. That's the word on the street from the ladies. One lady. But my girl does, she does a lot of fashion. Aloe's nice, yeah, but that's kind of how it's broken down. Was aloe? You too old for aloe. Don't worry about it. Mom's confirmed. What did she say? She said Lulu is for the older women, aloe's for the younger women. Ageism, I know. Pure age discrimination on brand. Because they're the same thing. Aloe just copied Lulu, but then I never understood aloe. I didn't, like, aloe blew up, and I was like, what the fuck? Why would you pay that much for the same shit, but not Lulu? And then, yeah, that's it. Girl shop at Aritzia? Yeah. Your husband said you're too old? Nah, you spend too much. Because Aritzia is expensive for no damn reason. But I feel like Aritzia is for all ages. You could go, except for like 60 years old, if you qualify for a reverse mortgage, you shouldn't. I would be odd if you shopped at Aritzia. I'd be like, that's weird. All right. I have ideas, but I don't know. Doing nothing is also a great fucking idea. Don't forget about that. I don't think aloe is public. Doing nothing is a great idea. I mean, aloe's great Pilates workout wear. Because when I went to Pilates, I wore the aloe shit my girl got me. She bought me an aloe outfit before. And I wore it to Pilates. It was nice. I looked like I fit in. You know what I'm saying? I got pulled up, like receding hairline and all that kind of, you almost gave me away. But then, like, I had this little aloe outfit on. Like, I looked like I knew what I was doing. Like, for real. Vore, that thing's starting to blow up now. How do you want to do this, Chad? Do we take it or rake it? It's really just about this thing moving. I don't like the range, though. I think it's deceptive. So I really think you price it off of 300. Because it already moved 10% leading into earnings. That's why I'm like, and then they're pricing another 20, technically, on the 2. It's very odd. And then it's just not cheap. And then you could get short time, long time. Tomorrow. I would do more than tomorrow. To be honest. Equal calls to puts. Yeah, Watch app still on the low. Again, Pfizer had something government guy called them. Wyden called them out on tax avoidance. Yeah, I don't like the 2 standards. If it goes up, it's going to 360, 370 max. That's my problem with it. And then if it goes down, it could just die. So that's the problem with it. Because I don't think the 280 or the 380 or whatever on the it doesn't make sense. And then it's too expensive. So all I see with this. But then, like I'm saying, there's many ways to go about it. Tariff. I mean, surprisingly though, it was low. Like I posted on the other, the day after FedEx and Nike. Even then though, just don't make no mistake. It's sad I'll even have to do this. I'll do it this quarter. But the media will still spin it. They were like, FedEx warns about tariffs. Nike. I looked up the whole conference. I put the AI through it. Literally one mention of the word FedEx. Or for word tariff. On FedEx, they mentioned the word tariffs. None. Not one mention. Even like uncertainty and some of these words, it didn't show up so far. Like I'm saying, the hard data is not bad. Soft data is, oh my goodness. But the hard data, like even then, company earnings, that's hard data. It hasn't altered heavily. So that's kind of, we'll see. But if they do bring that up, that's a definite game changer. If the guidance is strong or weak, you know. But for now, like again, I mean, most earnings, FedEx, Nike, the early set, they haven't really been like that. How much time we got? 15 minutes? I still have time to decide. They even killed all the Lulu contracts too. I feel bad. Because you could see it. They did what they did to the FedEx. It's actually insane. So like any of the run-up calls barely moved up. Like relatively speaking. And then all of these puts just got slashed, even though you were just going down. No matter, and some of them today, they cut them down by 50%, 30%. Lulu's not, I mean, Lulu's really good quality. That's the thing I've always liked about Lululemon. That's why, like, I get it when people buy it, but it is really expensive. But I know girls who have had Lululemon leggings for, 2 decades now almost? Literally 10 years, 15 years. Is actually, like, they're very reliable. DG, not the new ones. I mean, yeah, I guess I haven't seen one in years. I used to like them a lot, but all these places, you just go to an outlet, you'll get whatever you want for cheap. Oh, ladies, actually, the girl who just asked, I have something for you. Aritzia. Do you guys know Aritzia has an outlet? And if you didn't know, I just saved you a lot of money, ladies, okay? Go find it. There's one in Cali. But just go, if you really want to go to Aritzia, there's an outlet, and it's literally the same shit for like half the price. It's kind of insane. My girlfriend discovered it the other day. Yeah, man, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Golden. Is that the one you told me last time? I looked it up. Dude, it's like men's week and women's week. You can't like go. Like it's really weird. And you have to stay there for like a week, bro. So you fucking camp. The outlet, Cabazon, Palm Springs. Let's go. We'll go in let's go in like 2 weeks or a month. Cause then there's the casino. We could play poker and then they could go shop. Boom. Boom. But yeah, it's really nice. I love fucking Cabazon. Cabazon. Yeah, they really do have everything there. Bro, it's a scam. I made one play, but I want another one, but it's just all a scam. Whoa. CNC. Oh, get ready for a 10-minute rig, too. That's the next up. Those aren't going to fucking hit. I like it, but I got a good one so far. Okay, SPY going down. Amazon lays off 200 fulfillment support staff. Yeah, man. All right, SPY getting red on the 10-minute. UK government advises British nationals in South Sudan to leave the country. Oh, I almost got scammed. Thank God. That's why I was like, all right, that one's cheap. It was cheap, and I still didn't want it, but that was a daily. Yeah. Oh, wait. How much is that? There you go. Okay, that's how you do it. You do a debit spread. That's what they're fucking doing. If you want Lulu on the call side, debit spreads. They have cheaper puts. That's what it all is. Because that's what I'm saying. That's the scam. I'm telling you, I don't like these premiums at all. That's the only way you could get to that 360 below without spending thousands of dollars. You see what I'm saying? NVIDIA new low and Meta too, I think. Yeah, I didn't double dip on the Metas. That was my only loss today. Lulu, I think the founder's Canadian. I think they're based in America. Yeah, bro. Everything just dumped right now. Tesla gave it up. NVIDIA, Meta. I think Google was leading the way earlier. But, yeah, they just took a candle. Where's Apple? Apple's still green, so keep that in mind. I mean, a very odd day today. It wasn't a rotation. It was just everything down now. I'm surprised app. I know. Even for a short report, that fucking went crazy. It's like $900. So you spend $200, spend $300 to make $900, and you still have to be right on the call side. But that is the only play I like. I like a debit spread. Debit spread that maxes out at like 370. That's it. Then you could take advantage of the high premium, but you have to be right. I know, bro. We saw app in the first second. I can't believe it. Usually the short reports die and then pop, but that one's dirty. And then SPY just vertical down on 10-minute rig. This isn't anything except the movement. Remember, you are approaching now this end of the month, end of the quarter. So you are going to get these weirder movements, but you just gave up. That was big tech. All big tech just sold off right there, and you gave up most of everything. No, the news is going to be PCE. Hard data, but, I mean, worst case, best case scenario, but really worse. Market's just going to ignore it probably. If it comes in all in line, and then we go back to whatever else. Google's flushing. So weird. Even the put plays are still down. Some of them. Interesting. Yeah, the Tesla ones are down. The last free one we had was down 25%. It was just at break even on that last call out like an hour ago. Not bad though. That was a crazy one today, but kind of trippy. All right. Oh, shit. Look at the time. You got 4 minutes, man. There's your final 5. 4 minutes, 50 seconds. Come on, big money, big money. All right, man, you only got a couple minutes. I hate the call side on there. Okay, hold on. So wrap it up. I'm going to get loud soon. I'm doing one more. So get ready though. All right, I'm done. I did get both ways. I got one on Lulu. I just pushed it out. So it's far out the money. I don't like it though. I say this with reservation. Do not trade. UK Starmer opens the door with Trump. Starmer suggested UK could retaliate on any tariffs imposed by Trump. Prime Minister said all options are on the table. They talked with the White House to avoid continued intensive talks to avoid the car tariffs. Such tariffs risk crippling British economy and Rachel Reeves would have to launch a new tax rate in October. Bro, app is insane. That one's still going down. Couple names are moving, but you just gotta, honestly, a lot of little rotation there. And by the end of the day, man, that was crazy. It's already 4. I know, isn't that wild? Bros, Investor Day stuff. Well, at this point, I think finalize all of your earnings. If you want to play PCE with options, you better do that now. Otherwise, we wait till the hard data in the morning, and then we are going to go from there. That is it. All right, Chad. So if you don't like loud noises, you mute them a little bit. And that's it. That's it. It's about to get loud, baby. You know why? Because you only have 1 minute. Yo, dear. Oh, hold on, dear. Oh, yeah. I feel like that's going to get tied into this tariff bullshit. Oh, I don't think you're going to get one. Honestly, it's not even that crazy. All right, man, wrap it up. Bring it home. Finalize your plays. I got jumpy. I kind of like deer, though. I feel like they're going to get mentioned on something. They're a target. All right, I grabbed 1 just in case. 3, 2, 1. God bless America. Ding 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 ding. Horna. Oh, Chad Adonia. Chad Adonia. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, baby? We did it. We made it. 7 hours in the books. You got a little bit of earnings, but at the end of the day, trade wars, rumors of war, 7 hours of stocks, uncertainty. You made it to the bell, baby. You learned something. You didn't get banned. Are you kidding? Let me get a GG, baby. Go. It don't matter if you made money or lost money. No, you learned something. Everybody that contributed brought something to the table. Plays, those vibes, personalities, info. It means a lot. I would have banned you if it didn't mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? If you got in the way. And you got that long term, bring it to life, baby. Good game. Good game. Don't stress yourself out, man. Don't wear yourself out. If you handle stress, you'll grow. But don't wear yourself out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, baby. GG. I see you too, Twist. All happy day, baby. All happy day. Good game. That's what I'm talking about. That long term. Long term. Okay, have a good one. Just happy Friday, Junior. I'll see you tomorrow, man. God willing. Good game. Good game. Need me to rock. You won't see me a lot. Monday through Friday, you need me, let's talk. Huh. Wow. No, you know, I wanted to hear, is it still up? I hope it was. I wanted to listen to that other one. Yo, where'd it go? So more. Yeah, drive slow, bro. But Chad, that's the day. Thank you for being here, okay? I love you. Tonight, we will have a watch list that is live. If you'll be there. Or we could play 2K instead. Should we just play 2K now? I want to play 2K. Okay. But have a good day. Yeah, I drive fast, but I talk slow. Had some setbacks, but we still grow. How you did that? Only God knows. This a big bag.
but we got more on the way, another day.
I go to the Twitter though. All right, let's see what we're working with. So, gross margin. Oh, whoa. All right, gross margin 59.7. They beat. I don't know why they're mad at that. First quarter EPS 253 to 258. Oh, wow, very low. So they guided down by 10%, not bad. Revenue $3.6 billion, so they beat the top end of guidance. Wasn't that bad. Operating margin 28.9, they beat. They see first quarter revenue 234 to 236. Now, that's a little less. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. Full year 11.15, 11.3. I don't have the full year number, but yeah, bro, I don't think it was that bad. And I have puts too. So, I don't know. But it's down half of expect. It might be a dud, bro. No, yeah, because I don't think that was bad. I don't think it was good, but I don't think it was bad. I think that's enough to take everybody's money. That's called a 7 on the craps table until the guy talks. Maybe if he sounds too Canadian on the conference call, it'll go down. Well, if not, we'll see. If he's like, sorry, oh, okie dokie, every tool in my disposal. Eh? I'm just kidding, Canadians. I love you. You guys are great people. I'm sorry our presidents put us in between each other. I love you. God bless America. I'm used to saying that. I don't know. I didn't mean to end it like that because it's supposed to be God bless North America. Yeah? Now, but I love you too, South America. I fuck with Mexico too, bro. So God, but that's still North. Is it North America? Even though the continent. Honestly, God bless the world. Okay, just. Alrighty. Well, let's see what happens. But I think that's it, man. I think that's your earnings, man. We'll give it a second, but they missed. They guided down. It wasn't the biggest guide down, but at the end of the day, I don't know, in this environment, in retail. Wait till the conference call. Let's see when it starts, but I'm going to go through that, see how many times they mention it. But let's see. Their guidance was just a little lower. That's why I want to see the color around it and what they actually say about it. Oh, excuse me. Long time. Jeremy. Yeah. Dollar for the tacos, $1 for the chicken. Used to think life rough then, but now I'm reminiscing. Dream is feeling distant. Supposed to have her, shoulda had her, but now I have her. So frustrating, so irate. So I'm just saying, why the fuck we so patient? If this was 68, we woulda had a riot. Now you speaking for the people and they tell you be quiet. I ain't buying it. Little guy defend the MNC, anoint him at the DNC. Why your social movement always benefit the S&P? The first place to look for enemies. Enemies, not your fucking family. Know your core beliefs. I hope you see the war beneath. Forget about the future. They say only grab what's in your reach. They ain't smiling at you. It's a battle and they showing deep. Taught you how to criticize, so wisdom stay beneath your feet. Man, I'm feeling overlooked. They ain't even hungry, but they telling us that we cook. Hard to read the room if you can't even read a book. Yeah, hard to fake a smile when they sewn our mouths shut. Fuck, you won't even hear this. You won't even feel this. Jealousy override empathy and realness. A corporation steal this, repackage it and reel it. Evil so fearless, they're so shameless. Saying I'm blameless. The generation filming in the moment won't say shit. Why we call it brain dead when it felt like our soul dead? Or maybe we just sold it. Oh shit.
Some people don't even have dreams, you know what I'm saying? But if you blessed enough to have a dream, chase it, bro.
I had a dream like Martin, then I heard a couple stories. Never met my heroes, never had one. Never wanted things I never had, son. I got it, then I grabbed them. Looking back, these bitches out, these sad them. Good more, don't ignore your sword for the war. Armor's no good if you leave that shit at home. I don't care if that match up with the drum. I ain't young, I ain't care about looking dumb. Out my way, we could talk when I'm done. Does it look like I'm finished? Even if I was, dog, I do my own dishes. Why the fuck you in my business? I ain't tryna be a menace. Need a couple minutes with your talking and your bitching. Just show me that you don't get it, look. Now I wasted your time trying to reprimand, explain the basic shit so you could understand. I ain't being mean the way I teach the big leagues, ain't throwing underhand. Not the bad guy, I'm the best coach that you ever had. Something like LaMelo's dad, mama was an immigrant, $5 an hour working with Brillo pads. We got some things we shouldn't have, so I can feel down, but I don't ever think I'm really sad. Life a miracle, but I won't give you one. But I can teach you shit, and you'll walk away with dividends. Wish you'll buy more, and then you'll wish you did it young. You missed the first harvest, but tell me about the second one. Trying to build while looking at the clouds. I'm looking at my hand, then I'm looking at the ground. Peter walked on water, but fell. When he looked around, I heard that story all my life. I think I start to get it now. Slow in the fast lane, answers in my last name. They really didn't listen, that's a damn shame. But that don't mean my plans changed. Maybe just the landscape did what I said without a handshake. 3,004 an ounce, that sound like a fair rate. Word is gold, they only kept theirs too late. So I'm on with your new face. A snake can move a few ways. And life a bitch that lava how the fruit tastes. Welcome back.
Welcome back indeed. All right, I'm going to the gym, bro. Fuck it. I don't want to, but I have to. I got a little bit of energy. We'll be live tonight. And if not, that means the gym got me. All right, Chattadonia. So, Lulu, it's still all within the pricing, sadly. So, I wouldn't get too excited yet. Wait till they do the call. I sound like a nerd, but I think it'll be important. But what's in the transcript will be important. What they actually discuss. I'm even thinking broadly and we'll see even how people form their opinion. Let's see what does the boardroom now think of the uncertainty, and are they going to promote it in the same way as the Fed? But we will see, baby. We will see. Either way, good day today. I think we did some things. We tried them out a little better, and there was a lot of opportunities to get chopped too. We'll see how Friday is. We get a little bit of hard data that the market might ignore, but we'll be ready. We'll be prepared. I hope you had a great day. Thank you for your time. Go read the books, Richest Man in Babylon, Proverbs, New Living Translation, and The Strangest Secret in the World. And Chattadonia, don't forget why we're here, why we keep going, why that faith, hope, and love ain't ever going out of style. And for all of you, bro, why amor fati, and why you got to work hard, but don't wear yourself out trying to get rich, baby. Wow. Why, baby? Why? Finger to the sky, baby. To God be the glory, and through the grace of God alone. Amen. Amen. Oh, yeah. Dream, baby. What, man? Don't get me started. Amen. You could do abs you can't do abs my abs are sore, bro. I see, bro, my side abs are getting bigger than my abs. But half of my abs are sore. Like extremely sore. And I'm like, oh. So I don't know, man, but we're going to try to thug it out. But Chad, you have a great night. I'll see you tonight, God willing. In the morning, God willing. In the meantime, go for a walk, smile, breathe. I don't know if you've ever realized how good it is to breathe. I don't mean that like for real, like focus on your breathing and like just go outside in the nature and give a bro, that hits. That hits, bro. I'm telling you. So for real, bro, you're alive on a planet, on a spinning ball. Wow. You don't think that's cool? I don't know, man. That's a mindset. All that pollen. Fuck the pollen. No, I hate this terrible. Allergies are terrible. But you could still just get a good, I would say sniff, but I don't want this to get too biting on you. But, get a good deep breath in there and, just one and done maybe. Who knows? But enjoy it. And you're alive, baby. So God is good. You guys have a great night. I'll see y'all tonight. And peace. Yeah, who's your my way? Where do we? Yeah, that's nice, Josh. Fuck yeah. He has a point, you guys. You should listen. Oh, yeah, I've been doing that for 70 years, 80 years, 90 years. I've been sniffing my whole life. Passed down. It's hereditary. You could say, because my son sniffs too. Just different things. We chose different things to sniff. Smell, breathe, you're alive. Yeah. I don't know. I like a good deep breath, good breathing. They said, focus on your breathing. I said, I'm focused on tariffs. I'm focused on saving our country. That was a good Canadian speech. I'm surprised he didn't have Tim Hortons. What are they going to do? They're going to tariff Tim Hortons? We have Burger King. Dunkin' Donuts. McDonald's. We don't need Timmy Horton. Maybe Tim will come here. Maybe Tim will move to America. Tim, what do you think about that? I don't want to smell you. Get along, term. Anyways, have a good day. Surprise, Guatemala. Exactly. This is just getting out of hand. We're going to abolish the TSA. So now who's gonna pat my nutsack when I go through the radiation machine? That sound now what? Are we going to start smoking cigarettes on the airplane? Is that what you're suggesting now? You want it private mercenaries? How do you suggest that we do private screening? Is it per terminal? Who's going to pay for that? Exactly. I don't think it's a bad idea, to be honest, but still, I got a lot of questions. Exactly. Have a wonderful evening. I reclaim my time.